Here's how to get your entire content week mapped out without overthinking it. As small creative business owners, it's really easy to fall into perfectionism. Take it from a creative small business owner, myself, who has been a photographer, videographer, and I even started a wellness product-based business back in 2020. But when you have systems in place that actually give you the structure, the guardrails that help you prioritize action over thinking, this is when you get real results from your content. By the end of this video, you'll completely understand my content creation streamline method and how exactly I create content for an entire week in 30 minutes. So if you're ready to learn, let's get into it. So what exactly is my method? If you take anything away from this video, it's gonna be this: plan, create, edit, and publish. Now, that probably sounds so simple and kind of like straight to the point. But once you understand these 4 major stages of creating content, you can absolutely condense, process, make it so much easier to get it all done in a short amount of time. I have different methods depending on your free time and your ideal schedule, but today I am going to show you my most ideal and kind of my favorite schedule for completing these 4 stages of creation every week and also every month. So what does this look like? This literally looks like 30 minutes of work per day, 5 days a week. That's it. And what's beautiful about this method is it changes every week. So we have 4 weeks in a month, right? 4 to 5 weeks in a month. And what's great is that there's only 4 stages of creation. So if we do have a month that's 5 weeks, you get a week off. Awesome, right? The idea is that the work changes depending on what week it is. And I will lay this out as clearly as possible for you now. Week 1 is plan. Week 1 is always going to be plan because we have to do these stages in order. Week 1, because it's your plan stage, every 30 minutes on your Monday to Friday days, you are going to be planning your content. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, Liz, how do you get a week's worth of content technically done in 1 day? There is a bit of strategy involved in this, and I don't want to get super, super deep where you feel almost intimidated, but I'm going to basically show you my framework and you can work with it however you'd like. So there is a reason why there are 4 stages, and there is a reason why we are going to plan 1 week's worth of content every single day of your week 1, okay? Stay with me here. So each of these 5 pieces of content that you're going to publish in 1 month actually are all going to be related to each other. Over the course of 5 videos throughout your month, you are going to relate each video to a stage in the customer's journey. If you're a business owner, I'm sure you've heard of these stages, but just to give you the basics, we want to speak to the people who don't know us, the awareness stage, with educational content so that they're educated just on the basics of what we are providing the solution for in a very accessible way. So the first stage of the customer journey is awareness around the problem they have, around the fact that it is a problem, what they're losing out on, why it matters. Those are all educational pieces of content that you can create that relate to your business offering. The second stage of the customer journey is consideration, right? They're a bit warmer. They're not so cold as the audience to what you do and their relation to you. They're a bit warmer now. They're considering what you have to offer, and the way that they are going to consider that is through authority-driven content. You probably clicked on this video because I have a very clear method in my title and my thumbnail. Plan a week of content in 30 minutes, my simple system, right? What is that giving? It's giving that I know what I'm talking about. I have a system. I probably have experience. And you might want to consider what I have to say in the video. So your consideration stage should be speaking to a warmer audience, people who are fully aware that they have a problem. They might be looking deeper into this problem now. They might be looking for who's the right solution for this. And how do you prove that? Through your authority, through proof, through tactics that expand on your authority in this field. Now, the last stage is conversion. This is the stage where your customer is so hot in their relation to you that they are probably going to just convert and buy what you have to offer. Now, what content relates the most to this? It's inspirational content. The more you can show the life improvement in this stage, the more you can relate where they are now to where they will be once they engage in your offer, engage in your service, or engage in your product. That is what we are speaking to at the conversion stage. So you understand the basics of the stages of the customer acquisition, customer journey, and you are going to relate these 5 pieces of content to those stages. Now you might be wondering, okay, well, there's 3 stages and there's 5 pieces of content, Liz. How do I do that? You always want to make your conversion stage video just one video. And basically, we are pitching what we do in this video. Not in a salesy way, but we are basically showing we are rounding everything up. We are taking it all and giving it to the person as if it's a masterclass, a webinar. We are putting so much effort into that piece of content because the call to action is going to be to buy the product or the service. Videos 3 and 4 right before that are obviously going to be your warm stage, your consideration stage, where you are proving your authority, you are taking them through all of your tactics, your advanced systems, the things that show that you are the solution for them. And videos 1 and 2, they're all about the educational awareness stages of this journey. We're teaching people why this matters. We're showing them what this means. Okay, so you are probably thinking, all right, this all makes perfect sense to me, but how do I come up with a concept that ties everything together? What I'm calling this right now in my work is the problem and the solution pillars. Instead of creating content pillars, create problem and solution pillars. So the easiest thing to come up with is the solutions, right? Like, what does your business hold the solution for? If you're a photographer, like me, you hold the solution for content created. The solution is that you have content created, you have brand photos, you have visibility. There's so many solutions associated with your one bigger solution, and it's best to get multiple solutions, even if they're related. What you're gonna do from here is relate a very specific problem that is directly related to the solution, right? So let's use me as an example again. I'm a photographer and I hold the solution for content created and visibility, right? So instead of combining them into like one problem, we want to let this all flow out. We want as much to work with as possible. So what is the specific problem associated with the solution of visibility? If the solution is visibility, the problem is lack of awareness of your business. And so that is the problem associated. And can you see how it's very specific? We just said that the solution, another solution for me, is content created for my customer, right? The content is created officially. So what is the problem associated with content created? The problem could be no time to create content, or your business doesn't look professional enough. Like the content that you might create now doesn't have that professionalism, and it also doesn't involve you in the content. There's like 3 problems associated with that one solution, right? So this is where it gets fun. You're going to pick one problem associated with one solution. So when I just said that there was one solution, which was content created, and there was about 3 problems associated with that, pick one problem and one solution. And that is what your concept is going to be for your 5 videos of the month. You are going to take them from the problem stage to the solution stage through those stages of customer acquisition. So the educational awareness would be, okay, you need to be aware that you have no time. You have to be aware that your time is limited, why time management matters, why content matters, why having content creation in your business matters. Then you show the authority, advanced tactics, and proof that creating content is worthwhile, why time shouldn't hold you back. And then lastly, you pitch them to your service of content created. So here is the action plan to bring it all back to the system and the week. We're in week 1 in the plan phase, and this is exactly how you're going to do this. Your plan stage is when you are going to be writing out the key points within each of these videos. Now, I just used the example of the problem being that there's no time, right? No time to create content, and then the solution is content created when you work with a photographer. So on Monday, you are going to come up with the concept for the educational awareness stage. So this is all about why this matters. What is content creation and what is it gonna do for your business? Those are the kinds of topics you're gonna come up with on Monday. On Tuesday, you're gonna come up with something else that is also educational and awareness based. Wednesday, you're gonna come up with something that is authority driven, right? We're now in the consideration stage. So we're going to talk about authority, proof, what has worked, the tactics that you do, the method that you use. Thursday, we're also in the warm stage, but we might want to get a little deeper into the tactics. And of course, Friday, you are going to create the round up piece of content that is going to wrap everything together nicely and pitch your offer or your service or your product. Now, all of this changes as the weeks go on, right? So the week after the plan stage, you are going to do the creation. So that means you're recording and you're doing all the things based on your plan. Once you've created, week 3 is edit. You are going to be doing editing for your 30-minute slots every day if you choose to do the schedule that I love. And of course, week 4 is the publish week. So for those 30 minutes every single day, Monday through Friday, you are scheduling out the posts. You're using AI to write copy for your descriptions, your tags, your meta description, and that is how it all works together. Now, I will say one small thing here about social media, because I know a lot of you are interested in social media in the short form. But if I was to focus on social media, this is what this would look like. The plan, create, edit, and publish phases would actually all stay the same. It's going to be the same structure, the same foundation that you are going to create your content with. You're actually also going to create the same problem and solution pillars and inform your content topics with that same system. So the real difference here is going to come in during your create week, where you are going to be creating your content. Now for me, since I'm only focusing on long form content, all that means for me during that create week is that I'm creating these videos. But if you're also focusing on social media, that week is also dedicated to creating a short form piece of content. So depending on how you want to do this, if you want to create also a long form piece of content with your short form piece of content, you're gonna have to strategically plan that out within your 30-minute slots. It's absolutely possible to do, but your long form content or your short form content may be a little bit less just to fit it into the 30-minute slot. But again, you can separate these hours however you want. It's always going to be 2.5 hours every single week to do every single stage of your content. So for your create week, if you want to do 2 hours one day and 30 minutes one day, of course do that. But we are creating for a month so that you don't have to create every week, and instead you are hyper focused on one stage of the process for an entire week. So to round it up, for social media, it would be the same structure, the same foundation with your stages, your customer journey. Everything would stay the same other than utilizing your creation time a bit differently. Rather than just recording your long form piece of content every day, you are doing that and or also doing graphics, carousel creation, and short form video creation for social media. So I know that was a lot, but I hope this video really showed you exactly how this system can work for you in your small creative business. I know you need a system, I know you need direction, and that is exactly what I'm here for. If you want to implement this method in your business, but you are still lacking the clarity of how do I set this up in the back end, how does this all really look when I'm actually planning, editing, creating all of that? Watch this video next where I will teach you exactly how to stay consistent, because it really is all about your foundation. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you there.